Good evening, Lizzie Boys, and welcome back to my channel. Today isn't really news, but a lot of people asked me to cover these, and basically the director of the Monster High movie posted some design stuff, how he designed the characters, styled the actors to look like the characters, and among those pictures were actually some of the prototypes that we had only seen in blurry images previously. So, I thought that was pretty cool. We got to see some of the same prototypes that were shown in the stock photos of the Claudine bed playset, and I just thought it would be fun to talk about these because we can see how the characters were originally going to look before G3 was finalized. So, with that, let us begin. So here is a picture of all 6 of the prototype dolls. I want to go through them individually and give my thoughts on each one. Just a reminder that this is my opinion, and if you like these prototypes, that's great. I'm not saying that I dislike all of them or anything. I'm just saying that, like, if you like them and I don't, then that's great. We are all entitled to our own opinions, and yeah. Starting off with Frankie. Now, I do like their style here. There's another picture of a Frankie prototype that I do want to include in this video since we're talking about G3 prototypes, so allow me to pull it up. I'm actually thinking this is the full doll because their faces look very similar. So this is what Frankie's prototype was supposed to be styled like. As you can see, they originally were not wearing nearly as much pink as they are now. I'd say that there's no pink on them whatsoever, which would explain why Frankie in the movie has no pink, because this is the doll that they were going off of. Okay, actually they are wearing pink in this shirt piece that they're wearing. I don't know. But it seems like their design was originally a lot less pink and much more on the black, like black, blue, green color scheme side of things, I guess. I will admit I do prefer this outfit, but I also do like the way that the final Frankie came out. As you guys know, G3 Frankie is probably one of my favorite, basic Frankie is one of my favorite G3 dolls. I just did a tier list yesterday and they ended up in 3rd place. So, while I do like how they came out, I also like what I'm seeing here. The darker color scheme definitely works in their favor. As for this doll, I'm not crazy about the fact that they're smiling. I much prefer the final face mold that Frankie ended up getting because they're not smiling, and I just don't like when dolls smile. It's a personal gripe that I have. If you like smiling dolls, that's great, but for me, I like when they have a more neutral expression because then it's easier to imagine them emoting, I guess. I don't know why I think that, but that's how I see it. I like their earrings and their necklace, and the clip that they're wearing is super cute as well. I'd love to see those pieces make a comeback. And it looks like the piercing was always intended to be painted on. That's what I'm getting from this. Next up is Claudine, and I definitely prefer Claudine's final version of the doll. This one does seem to match Claudine's original skin tone, though, because it's so minor, like blink and you'll miss it, but for some reason, G3 Claudine is just the slightest bit lighter than G1 and G2. Makes no sense. It's just so random. I've seen other people point it out, and as I compared them myself in my review, I realized, I was like, oh, she is a little bit lighter. It's weird. And it looks like this doll would have perfectly matched that skin tone, so no idea what happened. We can't see much of her outfit here, but we did see some of it. I don't have the pictures. We did see some of it in the bedroom playset, but we're just kind of focusing on the doll here. It kind of looks like Claudine was always intended to have poly. Her hair looks kind of low quality here. Her face is very similar to the final doll that we ended up getting, though, like with the purple and blue eyeshadow, the brown eyes. Very similar lip color and even earrings. So it seems like Claudine is probably the prototype that changed the least in production. But she did end up getting a new face mold, which I do prefer to this one. I don't know, I don't like the lips here. It's something about the smile. It's the fact that she's smiling. It's always that. It always comes back to that. With Draculaura, the only thing I like is the darker lip color. I also like her hairstyle, but pretty much everything else I'm not a big fan of. I'm not huge on the eyes, and these dolls have really long necks. But I feel like it's especially apparent on Draculaura. Her neck is so long. I like the earrings, and they did make it to her final doll, which is good. And I just really like the hairstyle. But overall, I'm not big on the face. I much prefer the final Drac face that we got compared to this one. And that about does it for my thoughts on the first three. Starting off with our next three, we have Deuce, who looks pretty similar to his final doll. Has the same hairstyle, same green skin, same smirk. It looks like his face did change, though. Like, this Deuce has a very different face from the final one. It's just like a huge difference in a way that I can't describe, pretty much. I kind of prefer him like this. I prefer this face to the released Deuce. So, this makes the second prototype that I preferred to the final doll. The first one that I preferred to the finalized doll is Cleo. I feel like they did an amazing job on this Cleo, and I'm very sad that in the final cut she did not get the bangs. The one thing that I like that they did better on the finalized doll, though, is the lips. I don't like that she's smiling here. Like, I get that Cleo's a little nicer in this reboot. She doesn't start out as a mean girl, but I like that she has a slightly more neutral expression on the final doll. Yeah. But overall, this prototype is gorgeous. I love the bangs. I love the headpiece. She kept the earrings. Overall, it just looks really good. I like that her outfit is more black as well, because that's one of the things that's missing from G3 currently. Monster High outfits used to consist of a lot of black. The characters were more gothic. They would wear a ton of black in their clothing. It would be in pretty much everyone's color scheme. And it seems like they're almost afraid to go down that route again based on the designs that we've been getting. So seeing Cleo like this, I hope that they release this doll, because she's so close to looking like her G3 self. This basically is just the released G3 Cleo, just in a different outfit. So I would love to see this doll hit shelves. It would be really nice if they would release her. I don't know what they would release her as. Maybe they could tone her down and make her a budget doll. I don't know, but I would love to see this Cleo hit shelves. And now the moment you all been waiting for, Blue Lagoona. I'm sorry, but I really much prefer the Pink Lagoona doll. It's like, this one's not bad. If this was the final Lagoona, if we'd seen her before Pink Lagoona, I think I would have liked her. But it's just the fact that we've seen Pink Lagoona, and I have her in person, I can compare her to this. I just prefer the way the pink-skinned Lagoona looks. Maybe I sound crazy for that, but I just kind of like it better than this one. That's not to say this Lagoona's not cute, though. I love her eye makeup. I think it's just the eyebrows. I feel like if she had different eyebrows, I would like her more. It just feels like the eyebrows are what's making her face look off to me. The blue lips, too. Maybe she should have had a different lip color. But yeah, overall, she's pretty similar to the release doll. She's just pink instead of blue, and that's about it. The hair pretty much is the same. The earrings are different, the hoodie's different. The hoodie looks fake here. I don't know, something about this picture looks like edited. Like, all the other ones look like an actual doll underneath, but with Lagoona, her hoodie looks like it's not real. It looks like it's like photoshopped on. It just looks strange to me, you know? But overall, here's a collage of some of the previous prototypes we've seen. As you guys can see, there is, of course, the first prototypes we ever saw of them. Gray Frankie, the Claudine to the rightmost corner, and the Draculaura who had the hat. And I have to say, of the prototypes that we've seen, I think my favorite ones for each character, and I'm not including the release dolls, obviously, my favorite prototypes that we've seen are probably the first Draculaura with the hat. Prototype Cleo, of course, she was gorgeous. And I do like the Frankie. I do like this one. I do prefer their final face that was actually released, but this one still looks pretty good. So, yeah. I think that about does it for my thoughts on these. So, yeah. That's about it. I don't have much else to say. Overall, I just thought this would be an interesting topic to cover because we usually don't get to see this many prototypes. It's uncommon. Like, we haven't seen that many prototypes from the original G1 of Monster High. pretty much the only ones that we've actually gotten to see have been like the ones that Garrett Sander himself has shown us. I don't know if there's more that he's never shown us. It would be cool if he could dig some up and show us, but it's just cool to see this many prototypes for this new generation. Even with G2, we hardly saw any glimpses of prototypes. So it's nice. It seems like doll designers are starting to pick up on the fact that, like, you know, the community loves seeing prototypes. So now they're more open to showing them off, I guess. Although in this case, these prototypes were shown off by the director of the Monster High live-action movie. So it's not the same, but still, you know, it's cool to see the early phases, what was discarded, what was kept. And yeah, overall, if we get more prototypes to look at, I will definitely make a video on them because this topic is very interesting to me. Oh, and by the way, if you guys are interested in prototype dolls, I highly recommend following Dolls for the Archive on Instagram. That's just Dolls for the Archive, just typed like that, one word, like no spaces or anything. They're a very cool collector who has tons of doll prototypes. Their collection is amazing, and if you're interested in the topic of prototypes, they're a pretty good account to go through. I'll link them in the description. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and as always, I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!